Hey everyone, how are you? Hopefully your Sunday is going really well. Here, meal prepping for the week. I actually go back to work tomorrow. Some of you may know I had surgery on February 1st, so I have literally been home in bed recuperating, and I'm excited to go back to work tomorrow, and I wanted to do some on-plan fuelings, and make some everything bagels and some muffins for the week for Nick and I, just to have on hand and take to work. Usually we have them as our third fueling of the day. So it makes it super simple on Sunday if I cook a whole bunch of stuff for the week, and then we could just pack it up and take it with us every day. So I'm glad you're jumping on. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to get on here. And then I'll get started. I don't know why I can't see any comments. Let me see. Okay, I don't know what's going on. All right, so here's what we're gonna do today. I'm actually using the buttermilk cheddar herb biscuit. It has rosemary and thyme, but I don't really like the rosemary and thyme. I found that when I make the bagels with them, with this fueling in particular, it's a lot better to just sift out the extra herbs that they put in there. So I started actually a little bit because I didn't want to bang a lot on camera, but I have it in a little, sifter, and I'm just gonna tap it on my bowl. I'm using 3 packs, so I can make 6 bagels. So each pack makes 2 bagels, and those 2 bagels are considered one fueling, which is amazing. You could eat on-plan bagels, and you could have 2 of them, and it's a fueling. So bear with me as I do this. And you're gonna see that all the herbs stay in the, in the strainer. Almost done. Okay. Trying to get the rest out. Okay, so you'll see that you have some of the herbs that are in there, and I'm just gonna dump them in the garbage. I don't need them. So you still get the flavor of some of the herbs. You could see that in there, there's still some, some herbage. But the recipe for the bagels calls for 1 pack of fueling, okay, with 2 egg whites and 1 teaspoon of the baking powder. So I'm gonna add, being that I'm doing 3 packets, I'm gonna add 3 teaspoons of the baking powder. The third one. I add that into the dry mix, and then I also, so it calls for 2 egg whites. So 2 egg whites is equivalent to 4 tablespoons. So I have this nifty little measuring cup. I love this thing. I got these on Amazon. They're from Oxo, and I carry this in my bag with me to work, so that I can measure out tablespoons of water and mix them with my fuelings. It makes it very, very simple. And it's portable, and I don't have to sit there with an actual dry measure for a tablespoon. I could use the liquid measure, so it's more accurate. So if I have 4 tablespoons per pack, and I'm using 3, I need 12 tablespoons of egg whites. So 12 tablespoons of egg whites is equivalent to 3/4 cup. So I'm just gonna use my measuring cup, and I'm gonna measure 3/4 cup out of there, and I'm gonna add that in. And I already shook the egg whites, just so you know. Okay, and now I'm gonna use my little whiskey thing, and I'm gonna mix it on up. And you're gonna see it's gonna start getting nice and thick. It's gonna start fluffing up a little bit. And that's gonna give you your mixture. Okay. So I have my little donut pan, or you could use it for bagels like I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna put some avocado oil spray. So I know on plan you could use Pam and things like that, but I like things that are more natural, more pure than Pam. Pam has some chemicals in it. Not hating on it or anything, but I would prefer just to use something more simple. An avocado oil actually has a very high burning temp, so or smoke temp. So I use this, or I'll use grapeseed oil if I'm baking in the oven. Olive oil should not go over 350 degrees. Even though I'm baking these on 350, I would rather just use an oil that's safer in the oven. And it's a spray, so all you have to do is shake it up and just spray each of those things, okay? And then I'm going to use my little ice cream scooper, so I make sure that each of them are equal. Okay, almost done. Just going to equal them out now. If you have comments or questions, you could leave it in the description or the chat, and I'll answer them after the video is over. I think the way I have the live set up right now, I just can't see any comments. I can't even see who's on here, which is kind of weird. Okay, so here you go. You have your 6 bagels all in there. And I'm gonna use everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. I love this stuff. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top of each of the bagels, making all of the same kind. Okay. And I'm gonna drop those right in the oven. So you see how they look? Look really, really good. Now I preheated the oven to 350, and they're gonna cook for 12 to 15 minutes. So in 12 minutes, I'll take a look and check and see how they're doing. The other thing I wanna make is muffins. So I wanna make 2 batches in the same pan. So I'm gonna make some cinnamon cream cheese swirl cake muffins. That's a mouthful. I'm using 3 packets of those. 3 packets of those. So each packet gives you 2 muffins, and each packet then is 1 fueling. So 2 muffins is 1 fueling. So if I use 3 packets of this, I'll get 6 muffins, and then I'll use the other 6 with the golden chocolate chip pancake fueling. So I'm gonna make the cinnamon swirl ones first. And it's basically the same concept as far as, egg whites or what have you. The fuelings are pretty much all equivalent. They're macronutrient equivalent, and you could just make them following the directions on the pack. I'm looking for a batter consistency when I'm making these. So if you look at the packet, it tells you 3 tablespoons of cold water. If you were making this regular, 3 tablespoons of cold water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm multiplying that by 3 because I'm using 3 packets. So that's 9 tablespoons. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 6 tablespoons of egg white, and I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of water. So let me get the water first. And I'm gonna use 6 tablespoons. That's 4. And here's 2. And that should give me a batter consistency. So I have another one, another whisk to mix these up. And this is so, so simple. This is one of my favorite fuelings, actually. It has little cinnamon chips in there and little cream cheese like chips. They're so, so good. It's actually one of Nick's favorite things to have in muffin form. But that's one of the things that makes the program really easy and great and simple, because you don't really have to think much about it. You could just make these regular in a ramekin or in a dish in your microwave, cook it for a minute and a half. I think Oh, it's for 1 minute, or you could bake it in the oven. But I mean, I like to turn them into other things like waffles, and muffins and pancakes. I make everything with these. I'm just gonna add a little bit of some cinnamon because I wanna give it a little extra kick. And mix the cinnamon in. Okay, I'm gonna rinse off my scooper. So give me a sec. Definitely don't want the muffins tasting like bagels. Okay, so that's one. Now I have my cupcake tin. I'm not even going to use liners. If you want to use liners, you could use liners, that's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray it with my avocado oil, just like you saw me do before. Okay, and I'm going to portion these out. Try to get them even. Whoop. Put too much in the first one. You can also use a mini muffin tray. I think you get 4 muffins for each fueling that way. I'm gonna get a little spatula, hold on. Okay. I wanna get every last bit to make it last. Don't wanna leave any of it behind. Plenty more in this bowl. I'm gonna even this one out. I was looking a little sad, let me tell you. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so those are the 6 cinnamon ones. And now what I'm gonna do is, in the same exact bowl, I mean, it's not that serious. I'm gonna make the chocolate chip, golden chocolate chip fueling, and I'm gonna make those into muffins as well. Now, if you so choose, you could also add baking powder into these, but it's not necessary. It's up to you. If you add baking powder, you know, they really rise up more like a cupcake. But if you want a muffin and you want to be more true to plan, you know, just the water and the egg white is fine. So this is the same thing. Each packet calls for 3 tablespoons of liquid to add. So I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of water, and I'm gonna use 6 tablespoons of egg white. So let me get the water. Okay. All right. And I'm gonna whisk it. Actually, I think with this one, I'm gonna add those teaspoons, 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And I'm gonna mix it up. Believe it or not, the chocolate chip pancake filling is actually really good just by itself. I sometimes make this for dessert in a coffee mug in the microwave, and there's a hack for that on my Pinterest page, and there's also a hack for that in my photos, in my photo section on my profile for Facebook. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I make these into pancakes, I make these into waffles, I make these into muffins, and I make them into shake cakes, I make them into mug cakes, so they're really, really useful. It's a really useful fueling to have. Okay. Spray the other half. Okay, and there you have it. So you have all of your muffins ready to go into the oven. These also bake for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna check on the bagels and see how they look. And I will jump back on when everything is all finished and I will show you the finished product, okay?